Hello, my name is Ty Vomsal. This is Module 1, the Government Control of Public Education and Personal Presentation video. So like I said, my name is Ty Vomsal. I'm here to provide guidance and be a role model and a positive influence on the lives of students, as well as provide them with a safe place to take risks, learn, and grow. I love to build positive relationships and share and teach real-world skills that help any learner feel more confident in themselves and their abilities. As far as my professional life goes, I have been teaching for 7 years at Fort Collins High School in Fort Collins, Colorado. I am a family and consumer sciences teacher, which licenses me to teach a wide variety of different classes. I have kind of found my niche teaching all of the classes that relate to food, so Culinary Arts 1, Culinary Arts 2, as well as a concurrent enrollment section of that. Nutrition and wellness, and then one that's kind of out of the range of food, financial life management. I am part of one of the largest departments in all of Colorado with a full 5 FTE, which for maybe some core content areas doesn't sound very large, but in the world of family consumer sciences and career and technical education, that is a fairly substantial department. Also, fun, interesting fact, I am one of 3 male family consumer sciences teachers in all of Colorado. My professional goal is to expand my program and influence to reach as many students as possible and to impart life skills and knowledge and help students prepare for life outside of high school. As far as my personal life goes, in my free time, I love spending time with my friends, family, and dogs. I have 2 dogs, Cedric and Taco. You can see Cedric pictured here, and then Taco, the little Chihuahua. I like to be outdoors. I like being active, going hiking, camping, golfing, going to the gym, just generally being active. And then I also love to cook and develop new recipes. I think it's a fun challenge that keeps me creative and keeps me on my toes. Switching gears here to discuss the 3 levels of government control within public education. So to start, the kind of support that is offered to public schools from a local government standpoint are as follows. So local government is one of the primary sources of funding for elementary and secondary schools, and it comes in at about roughly 92% of the overall funds for public education. Funding at the local level comes primarily from property taxes on homes and businesses. Local government governed by school district and school board, whose members are appointed or elected by the public. So that is some local government influence in public schools. And local school boards are responsible for establishing curriculum, hiring personnel, and deciding whether schools should be closed, consolidated, or constructed. Moving up one level to the state level, as with the local governments, state and local governments are the primary source of funding for elementary and secondary schools. Again, roughly 92% of overall funds. State governments exercise primary accountability and oversight for government-run schools, though many choose to delegate much of their authority to the local school district and let them handle a lot of the decision-making process on their end. And the 10th Amendment dictates that most education policy is decided at the state or local levels. Moving up one more level to the federal government support. So federal government does supply funds, a much smaller amount than state and local. It is only 8% of the total funding. And a lot of that has been targeted for specific programs aimed to fill in gaps from local and state support for education when national needs arise. Other than that, federal government passes educational laws and bills that help to collect data on government-run schools, evaluate their performance, suggest policy change, and measure outcomes. Other federal influence on public schools are some of these. Federal laws prohibit workplace discrimination, and that is enforced by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Federal acts can influence responsibility of education oversight to be delegated more to the state and local levels, while funds can be redistributed through budget proposals or cuts. Federal government has the responsibility to ensure the right to free and high quality education for all K through 12 students by protecting their civil rights and providing resources for the most in need districts, students, individuals. So, who is in charge of our government at these variety of levels? At the local level, the school board, the superintendent, and principal and administration are in charge of the schools at this level. So the school board has oversight and development of school policies with district. They do adoption of budget and allocation of resources. They employ the superintendent. They adopt district curriculum, and they determine policies to guide hiring of staff. School board members are elected and are on a voluntary basis, so it is not a paid position. The superintendent is responsible for the management of the school, administration of school board policies, and they are directly held accountable by the school board. The superintendent is a hired and paid position. Principals and administration at the schools individually provide leadership and direction and coordination within the schools. They are in charge of development of instructional programs, the assignment of duties and supervision of staff, and general operation of school facilities. Same with the superintendent, principal, and administrations are both paid positions as well. At the state level in Colorado, the Colorado State Board of Education and the Commissioner of Education, Katie Anthus, are in charge at the state level. So the Colorado State Board of Education mission is to provide all of Colorado's children equal access to quality, thorough, uniform, well-rounded educational opportunities in a safe and civil learning environment. So working in conjunction with that, the Commissioner of Education directs the Colorado Board of Education's activities, completion towards statutorily required tasks, and attainment of the CDE's goals. She also works with her executive team to ensure that the strategic plan also guides the CDE's work. At the federal level, there's a variety of different governmental influences on public education, starting with the U.S. Department of Education. Their goal is to promote student achievement and preparation for global competitiveness by fostering educational excellence and ensuring equal access. The U.S. Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona, deals with the federal influence over education policy and heads the United States Department of Education. And then the three governmental branches, Congress, executive branch, and judicial branch, all also have influence on public education in a variety of different ways. Congress has the ability to write statute and to distribute funds, grants, and competitive grants to schools. The executive branch can regulate, clarify, and be selective of its enforcement of educational laws. And the judicial branch, based off judicial rulings, can redefine what qualifies as implementation of policy. So each one of those things has kind of a roundabout influence on public education, mostly through policy and funds and enforcement of policy and educational laws. So who has the most influence on each one of these three levels? So for standard 1, to evaluate, develop, implement management, communication, technology, school level governance, and operations systems that support each student's learning needs and promote the mission and vision of the school. That sounded a lot more like the local level authority to me. Mission and vision statement is definitely in the wheelhouse of the school board, superintendent, and principals. Standards 2, to evaluate, develop, and advocate for a data-informed and equitable resourcing plan that supports school improvement and student development. That sounded very state-level authority, so the State Board of Education and the Commissioner of Education. And then the third one, reflectively evaluate, communicate about, and implement laws, rights, policies, and regulations to promote student and adult success and well-being. Sounded to me that that would be more covered on the federal level of authority, so your U.S. Department of Education and your Secretary of Education. So how does all of this support educational success? I found a great quote by Harris in one of the resources. Since education is so important to individual success, it is also a tool for addressing what is widely seen as one of the nation's most pressing problems, wealth and income inequality. So all of the different governmental influences do support the educational success and well-being of adults and learners by ensuring rights to free and high-quality education, by protecting the civil rights of students, by providing resources for those most in need, by using public data and high-quality research to drive policy, and by providing support and infrastructure for schools, districts, and states to help them continuously improve their work. Here's my personal statement. So by completing this module, this assignment allowed me to learn more about the role of the government on a variety of levels and their involvement and support of the public education system. It allowed me to deepen my understanding of how each level of government influences funding, policy, and other school success factors. This assignment was relevant to my learning as a current teacher because it shows the importance and influence of both state and local governments associated with the school and gave me a better understanding of the roles of individuals who serve my community on the school board and within the school system. So to reflect, this assignment will influence the way I teach, learn, and make decisions as a future school leader by giving me a deeper understanding of educational policy and how it has an impact on the support that my school receives from a variety of different levels of government. Using this information, I can make decisions that will increase support and increase student achievement at my school. Here is my APA citation. Sorry, this top one got a little cut off. Not much I can do about trying to fit all of this all onto one slide. Thanks for watching. I'm excited to get to know all of you and start this new class. Thanks.